Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field of Glory Empires as Persia, continuing the game that we've been playing for quite a while. If everything goes according to plan, I think during this part we'll probably negotiate the surrender of Egypt. Probably making them just give us Egypt. Let them keep the outlying territories, but we'll probably take the three Egyptian provinces. Superior, Major, and Inferior. It's give us the main component of the Nile Delta, Nile region, and probably the last of the pre-built wonders in this scenario. Legacy-wise, we are seriously winning. We'll take a little bit more off of Egypt as well, which combined with the fact that we occupy most of their wonders should put us securely in the highest income, or highest legacy income bracket. So if there's the... I don't know if this scenario in particular has the sudden death rules, but if the sudden death rules are active, that means we should be in a good state to potentially win a little bit early, instead of having to play out all the way out to 200 turns. Otherwise, I might simply try to pick up the pace on playing through the turns here. So I'll see. Troop-wise, at the end of the last stream, we did already have assignments for them to have marching orders. These guys are marching south to go lay siege to this location. Well, probably to storm this location. We have the cavalry force currently sieging it. We have this force that I should probably order. We have ordered this one there. So we're going to storm that fortified location. We'll probably then storm that fortified location. Basically marching south. At the same time, we've got a 4th army coming in. We probably don't need the 4th army at this point, but we've got a 4th one. We probably want to build up a navy. We've got a goal to declare war on Sparta and Athens. As part of that goal, I probably want to overrun the islands between us and Greece. And to do that, we probably want to protect our landing forces, so we will probably want a bigger navy. Right now, the frontage in the larger seas is 16 large. We've got a fleet that's a little bit bigger than that with 18, but we probably want another fleet, really. So that's something we probably want to be able to look out for building. So let's go figure out where we can... So we can build a navy here, so we can build heavy warships. We'll be able to build... That's 4 plus 3, so like 7 there. So say we build 7 there. Where else can we build warships? You're light. You're light. We can build regular warships there. No. Well, that's more light. We can build some regular warships there. And we can build warships. Okay, so it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be regular warships besides those 7 heavy, which is probably fine. So that would be 16. We'll go a little bit over. We'll go 18 like the other one. So between building here and building there, we should have a fleet, a second fleet assembled in a turn. That should be enough, I think, to begin the alien campaign as soon as we're done with Egypt. Diplomacy-wise with Egypt, I suppose we did work out a possible peace deal with Egypt the last time. What we want... And I think I'll just go ahead and put it in. They'll probably say no right now. Or I'll remind myself of how much it is. It has been 3 days since the last stream. So basically we want the 3 Egypts. Which is less than we currently occupy, although it's the more valuable components of what we occupy. They'll definitely at this point, I think, remember from last time, they will give us all the territory we occupy. They might not be willing to give us the territory we occupy and the legacy that I want. And that would be the reason we don't necessarily agree to the peace deal. We don't actually put the peace deal through yet. But obviously the first step to checking that during this stream is quickly queue everything up. So sorry if you are watching from the playlist and have just watched the last one, where I think I did this in the last stream. So we can see if we pile everything in, we basically want the 3 Egyptian provinces, and we probably do want a little Sinai, which is that one. Right. So that leaves us with 97 war score. So we can take the lower one. They would definitely be on board with that. On the other hand, if we wanted to go for the next one up... Okay, so they're not quite there. I think that's what we want to take. And yeah, 37% war score is not going to be that hard, I think, going forward. So we're going to continue to prosecute this war. Our troops have got marching orders, so we just need to go through and check all the provinces to make sure we're not leaving idle provinces. We've got the ability to pick up a Master Fletcher in the capital. This is the national wonder. You only get one. I don't want the capital to be the place where we're building it, so we'll pass on that. Dates, but just dates, so no. Worship place. We have myrrh and frankincense, so 22 culture is tempting. Do we have regional road yet? We do, so that is something we can be pulling paved-wise. We haven't hit that yet. Could probably also do more... Oh, no, this is a hill area. Okay. So yeah, I think it's up between the worship place. Don't really need more industry in the capital, as we could do wheelmaker. Although if I was going to more industry, we'd probably want to do warehouse. Do the warehouse and builder's hall. So yeah, the best of these 6 I think is going to be the worship place for us here. I don't need the culture, but we can grab the worship place anyway. Here, I'll grab the brickworks so that we have access to getting regional road in the area. That's enough construction to get all that done. New belt slot there. It's tempting is to grab the wall of grade. I think we're going to grab the scriptorium. That will give us 6 culture buildings, so if we need loyalty, we can go pulling the tier 3 culture buildings. Don't need the fortune teller. I tend to find this fortune teller is a bit disappointing as far as culture buildings go. If you're really desperate to get the up tier the culture, it can be decent, but it's once you've got access to tier 3, it's very disappointing compared to the tier 2 and tier 3 ones. Do you want to finish here? Probably not. Yeah, we'll take the builder's hall. Although this is the place where we're training cavalry, so I suppose we can grab the stables. And I don't think I need that much industry to build the stables. Yeah, we only need to make like 10. But I think we're guaranteed to make. We're guaranteed to make enough to build it in a turn. Okay. 1 build slot here. Up in the mountains. Bridge. Not bad. Bridge is reasonably expensive, but again, we still have far more industry than we need. Being this up in the mountains, we've kind of overbuilt industry up here. Because it's, well, industry in the mountains is fairly strong. Oops, I moved to the wrong province by accident. There we go. 1 build slot here. So one thing I can do to try to speed this up, which I might do once we're basically trying to run the clock out, is not necessarily swap the food, maybe say swap the culture. Just to run up the score faster. Arsenal, I don't think we need or want the arsenal here, so we'll pass. Market's tempting because that'll get us to tier 2 commerce. Yeah. Again, we don't need that much industry or that much infrastructure to finish it. Potentially left over from one of the earlier, more large building projects. Again, we probably just finished something that was expensive here. Toss these guys into food. Okay. Major harbor. Again, we probably don't need that much infrastructure to complete the harbor in one turn. Yeah, we only need like 26, 27. Nothing there. 2 salts here. Although both in the same place. Yeah, we'll probably do the wall upgrade. Nicely fortified locations are really nice. The main difficulty with getting them is often places where you've got them are deep enough into your territory you don't need them. In that sort of weird counterintuitive problem. By the time you can afford to get them someplace, often you don't need them there anymore. Which is maybe less of a problem against human players. Human players, you probably want a little bit more defense in depth. But in single player, you can definitely get into situations like, yeah, these walls are nice, if only we really needed them. Which you usually don't. In here, we just need enough infrastructure to stay positive. Because of overbuilds. Four builds here. Yeah, monument. We're not having culture problems, and if I play my cards right, we'll never have culture problems, so that's good. Probably want some... Are looking at probably getting more loyalty here, so let's grab the parlor. Don't need the potter. Don't need the gambling ring. Might grab the armor. How many military building, or industry buildings do we have? 3. Yeah, we're gonna pass on the warehouse, so yeah, I think we'll grab the armor. Work the military expertise ratio up a bit. Unless it's a really good nuts, and it isn't. I think we're gonna go Builder's Hole. Because I'll give us 6 infrastructure buildings. Ooh, plantation. 42 food from the plantation. Hard to pass up. Although the warehouse is tempting with 51 infrastructure as well. But yeah, that's the power of plains, where you can actually build the farm tier all the way up to max. You can often get regular farms in hills, but you need proper flat land to get plantations. How much overkill in the infrastructure is here? Okay, so we just need to be positive. There we go. Leaves us with like enough that we don't backslide too much. Temple and a single slot. Yeah, we'll take the script form. Yeah, it's more infrastructure than we need, but that'll be fine. 2 open slots there. We're out of range. Well, actually, we could import frankincense from Aberdeen. That wouldn't be too bad. 22 culture because of gold, marble, and ceramics. So, yeah, we'll take the basilica. Done in a turn. Almost certainly overbuilding. Oh, yeah, overbuilding by a lot. Let's try to get the coastal regions in this area to grow a bit faster. Okay, I think that's close enough. We're actually kind of underbuilding, but we got a reserve of 400, so we'll build it as long as we have a surplus of 1. I suppose actually that means I can just put everyone on food. Yeah. 1, 3, and 2, so lots of building to go up here. Tempting to grab the oil mill, although we can get oil in the area already. Little close to 20 to pull the secret coal. The secret coal goes plus 20. And we don't have access to memory. So it probably wants to be weavers or the palisades. We'll go weavers. Street parlor. Or, oh, we still have abundant streams. That's removed by bridge. Bridge, I think, requires us to have Builder's Guild. So we need to get access to tier 3. Oh, no, we have access to it. It's in the list of things we can build already. We'll grab the warehouse because that's just, if we're going to go that, well, now that we are that deep, it's worth fully filling it out. Let's grab the blacksmith here. I'll also get access to tier 2 commerce. Could do with a little bit more loyalty here. And the prison's not bad for that. Let's grab the Tribune. Work on the Temple of Zeus there, which will be good when it's done. His border is doing a lot better now that we've done 3 bolster colonies down here. Although it's still basically the Arabian Desert, so it's never going to be super great. Oops, hit the wrong button. Yeah, not a good place for an irrigation system. We're also right next to an irrigation canal, so we're not trying to rush to Papyrus. Yeah, we'll do the wax workshop. Wheelmaker, archery range, and an unspecified. Take a copper mine there. Okay. Now we're into the Delta, where we've got stuff we've just taken back from the Egyptians. Sure, we'll go loyalty bonus there. Okay. Sweep food on industry to get the stuff built faster. And then that's all the provinces for the moment, although we can make another one here in Gyptus Major. And there's no idols. Okay, so that's a good place to go ahead and cycle the turn, assuming there's no regional decisions on a play. And it doesn't appear to be. See how our troops perform. So there goes in the assault. It's 35 versus 4. I'm pretty sure we're going to win, so I'm just going to skip the fight. This is 1 versus the cavalry force. We'll skip. We'll watch this one. This is probably going to be the biggest fight, I think, this turn. So this is the new army coming up against the barbarian non-line forces in this territory. It's a desert territory. They're being exhausted by the archers. The close fighter should have an easy time dealing with the warriors and skirmishers and such. Skirmishers actually apparently performing the best out here. Well, if they're not exhausted. If they're exhausted, they're having a bad day. Here we go. Complete, well, pretty much the complete enemy front line destroyed for the pursuit, and what's left cleaned up afterwards. Okay, I'll get there and be able to assault next turn. Well, over the end turn. You can go up and do the same. Those are both unfortified. It's a shame that a lot of these places have settled oases that are going to go poof as we overrun them. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll take those two with the cav. And then we'll probably be looking to negotiate with them again in next turn. We lost our 2-0. Okay. Bonuses in open terrain. Just give you the 0-1. You're mostly doing defense operations up in the mountains there. No decisions. Okay. So just fly through all the provinces very quickly, and then we'll cycle the turn and start negotiating with the Egyptians. Solid wall, not a bad ask. Yeah, that's about the right construction points for it. Land reclamation, reasonably expensive, so we're presumably gonna have to put more into getting it done quickly. Sculpture, because we have marble and ivory up here bonus-wise, even though this is from a trade standpoint, we don't need it because we can need it around already from some places. It's just a decent commerce building. If I was desperate for more loyalty, we'd probably pick up the Street Brawler. You can access the Tier 3 culture, but we're not. So we're going to go with the jeweler shop. And then that also basically tells us, hey, we probably want to get some copper in there when we can. Well, the sculpture shop. Get some copper in there, presumably to make things like bronze sculptures. An open slot there. With just that, we can get it done. Only one there. Could go to the Weaver's house, could go to the worship place, but without the Marin Frankincense, the worship place is a bit sad. Don't need the walls, although we could get the walls. That's a sad large quarry, so yeah, we'll probably just go to the Weaver shop, work up the commerce line. Armor is tempting, although that is a pretty good delicacy shop. Just missing the figs. Yeah, we'll do the delicacy shop because it's pretty decent. Nothing there. Unslot there. What are we being offered? Marble Emporium! We really don't need that, sir. I suspect we maybe even already have marble in the area. Yeah, we already have the marble bonus. Like, we don't need the marble here. We may need it elsewhere in the nation. Although marble, out of the things we can get emporiums for, is the most abundant. Could go Noble District, could go Palisade. Probably never going to need the walls here, unless something goes horribly wrong. Granted, maybe don't need the Noble District either, but least that's giving us 14 culture, so we'll take that for the moment. And presumably want some infrastructure to get done sometime this century. Okay, looks like we're not going to finish it this turn, although we can make sure we overbuild it next turn. Land expansion's good. So we have the weapons depot, so it's just a chance that it goes away. Fair's tempting. That's a decent fare. In theory, gives us enough commerce buildings, at least while we have the slavers to pick up tier 3 ones. Sure, we'll take up the fair. Like 90, that shouldn't be impossible to do. There we go. Coast here, we can build a jeweler. We got gold. We don't really got any good places for coral or amber, but 21 money, plus it provides jewelry to the area, which is apparently not importable to this location yet, because our luxury makers are down here. So having a little bit of luxury up here isn't going to be a bad thing. And then obviously that's expensive enough building that we want to actually put people on building it faster. Two turns. I'm surprised I don't have... Oh no, I have regional road. Surprised you don't have the commerce buildings also. We probably don't need the warehouse here. We're not going to be able to pave the road either way. Let's go to the script form. So I had the script form over the military building there, I think. Land expansion. Usually no-brainer when it comes up. Unless you're really desperate for something else. Tribunal. Grab the villages hall. This is the mountains, so this is another place we're not going to be able to get paved road. This wouldn't be a bad place to put some defenses, so we'll put the palisade there. Do we train archers here, or is it provincial light cavalry? So the archery range would not be bad. Could grab the wells. 16 food wells is pretty good. Oh yeah, because we got the plantation here. Definitely put the wells here. Probably overbuilding, probably don't need that much to get the wells done in a turn, but we'll leave it that way. Build the Tribune. And a mint. Could be a better mint, but there are ways to import gold and silver. The bank, for example, is a way to import gold. And this is probably a place that would be a good place to get a jewelry shop, which is the silver importer. Delicacy shop. Honey. Has local figs, so that's... probably could be better. We probably want to wait until we get like a 3 delicacy shop, which does slowly sort of spread, right? We build a delicacy shop somewhere that's decent, then the neighboring spots end up decent because of that, and so on and so forth. This is the place where we are building infantry, so an armor to be able to build more and a pass is not bad. Do I want a commerce building? Yes. Do I want that commerce building? No. Same sort of thing with the fortune teller. Same thing with the stable. Oh, same thing with the charcoal pile. We're gonna do a reroll here. It's not really interested in those buildings. And we don't need that much infrastructure if we're doing a reroll. Yep, close enough. Not gonna fuss with it too much. Ooh, lots of buildings here. Vassal and Temple. This will slow down our conversion. Oh, we're also apparently out of trade range for the coral. If we get paved roads at the trade port, we probably won't be, but we don't have those yet. Take the quant then. That's a decent farm. Although, smokehouse is probably, if we're trying to grow the place, better, because it's going to provide a health bonus. And I'm not likely to build a barracks here, or build close fighters here, but we can build the barracks anyway. How much more do we need for the quant? Quite a bit, because that's going to be like 75 times 3. Although this is a big province, so it's believable we can hit that. Here we go. Mint. Oh, no, this is not the mint, this is the bank. Tempting to grab the bank, it's a 32 money bank. On the other hand, we can pick up the large warehouse. Which is basically a 0 slot upgrade over the previous one, 35 more infrastructure. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but that's fine. And that makes it more likely we're going to hit the bridge just by the process of removing infrastructure buildings from the infrastructure pool. Yeah, that's probably a good place to put the warehouse. I'll take the training ground because it's 0 slot. I think the large warehouse is just a little too expensive with the other things being built to be built in a turn. Although it will be in 2. Grab the fair, it's a decent fair. Don't think the prison's going to finish in a turn, even if I put the last guy on it. No. Training ground, get the military expertise up a little bit more. Yeah, we probably should do that for the 14 loyalty. Move the guy in food over to infrastructure. Temple Zeus is 6 turns. 9 slots there. Guess that place has been growing. Regional road. Yeah, grab the wheelmaker. Open slots there. I definitely don't need the major harbor here. It's not enough of an improvement over the previous one. The main reason you build a major harbor is to build warships, which we don't need to make on the Caspian. Might go the barracks. Yeah, let's do the barracks. This is the Delta. Delta will become a whole lot more stable after we negotiate its surrender from the Egyptians. It's Judea, which we just had the Judeans return to us recently. The nice, granted, reconstructed Solomon Temple. Running a nice 29 culture. We're in trade range for purple, so dyeing mill is not a bad thing. This is another Egyptian province recently handed to us that we're not planning on handing back. And then we're on to the loose ones. This one. That's the only idle. Okay. So, I think we already checked the regionals. Nothing really to the regionals. Let's cycle the turn. Cavalry versus 5 units. I think the cavalry's going to win. Yeah. This is the fort we're storming. Successful storm. Another fort we're storming. Don't underestimate the destructive capacity of late game armies. It just blitz through light fortifications. Oh, this is actually maybe going to be a fight for the cavalry. Exhausted the enemy front line. Although cataphracts versus spearmen, exhausted spearmen is going to be a bad job for those guys. Three v 2. We might not win that fight. Oh, well, we do. 7v6 was close, and then the rest should just be a nice mop up. Yeah. Okay, at this point I'm going to have to negotiate with the Egyptians, unless I want the entire Egypt, because I think they're going to lose. They're going to lose badly. And at this point we occupy everything we want. Welcome them new ruler. Out with the old guy, in with the bad diplomat, right as I'm trying to do diplomacy. Of course. Buy, sell, displace. We're probably rich enough I could actually buy. Yeah, we'll just start buying instead of distributing. We don't need any naval power. We elected a royal tomb somewhere, and in theory that cost a lot of money, and maybe I'm floating a little bit too much money. Yeah, that only cost us like 5,000 money. I'm surprised how cheap that was. Oh, actually, well, it probably cost us like 7,500-ish. Killed in an accident. Those are accidents. Another Federate Barbarian, which we should probably use. And then, yeah, let's negotiate with the Egyptians before we end up occupying the entire country. Which is not actually what we want to do. we ask for everything we occupy. Well, we're not actually asking for everything you occupy. We're asking for everything in those 3 provinces and this location. We're gonna leave them the western desert and the southern desert. In Nubia. Egyptians can rule Nubia. We just want the fertile Egypt. No, I can't ask for that one because we actually took that off of rebels. So we don't negotiate with the rebels. Okay, that's everything there. Humiliate Legacy, we'll take the tier 2 one. Oh, they're really not willing to give that to us. I'm surprised. It was down to 37 earlier. The territories must have got worth more. Okay. Oh, also the new ruler is worse at diplomacy. That's what's playing a part. The new ruler is worse at diplomacy. Okay, we'll take the lower humiliate because otherwise we're just going to annex the country and not be able to take any of the legacy. So yeah, we'll do that peace deal. We're obviously going to keep prosecuting the war because if they say no, then we're going to finish occupying them and just call it good. Yeah, so now to go all around all our territories, doing as we have been. A weapons manufacturer here would give us access to tier 3 military buildings, which is probably what we want. Even though we maybe don't want specifically having weapons there. Let's pick up the wheelmaker so we can get regionals to make paved. Speak of 3 infrastructure buildings to get regionals, we have them there. We need a little bit more food than that. That's good enough. Okay, that'll be done next turn. 2 build slots there. An okay quarry, large quarry. Here we go. Nothing there, nothing there. This place has been growing long enough it does have stuff to do, although it's got enough industry, I wouldn't be surprised if it could finish stuff without putting people in industry, infrastructure. Although I'm immediately proven wrong by it. Grab the amphitheater. Noble District done next turn. 3 build slots there. Operation Tribune. Let's grab the brickworks to work over the regional road. This is Alpine, so we're never going to be able to pave it, but it doesn't make regional road worse. Open building slot. Regional road. Land expansion, because, you know, don't have enough enough build slots there. We got some more. Let's do the scriptorum here. Grab the salt house. 3 build slots. I also grab the crafting district. Although we do need more food in the area, so let's actually go to the salt house instead. Oh, that is a decent orchard, given that this is a desert. If it wasn't being presented the orchard, I probably would have done the wheelmaker. Do some conversion. Let's pick up the cult site. The dam. 11 food, 6 health from the dam. That's not bad. Also grab the Sacred Estate. We'll pass on the Sacred Estate for the moment. Build up those walls. No. We'll do the weapons table here because this is a place where we're going to be training regional troops sometimes. Having more equipment to be able to train them faster is not bad. Oops, need to leave some people on food. Well, I suppose I technically don't need to leave them on food, but I like leaving them on food. Breaks the role-playing sometimes, remembering that I don't think civilian pops are really hard to starve. The military is really easy to starve. The civilian pops are hard. Oh, no way do I need this much infrastructure. Back to food. This area here could probably use more loyalty buildings. We'll have to start fishing for them after the next growth. Oh, I don't need anyone on infrastructure to finish the palisades. Okay. Yeah, it's so close. I think we'll just finish getting the building warehouse line there. Monument. Decent enough reroll. Looking for loyalty, probably at that location. Pick up the cult site for the conversion. We do need loyalty. I suppose we'll grab the gambling ring and maybe work up that line. Double zoos. One build slot here. Big smokehouse. The food in the area improving. Spinning mill cotton. In this case, we're actually able to import the cotton, so 35 money and some of the neighboring bonuses. And the neighboring locations get bonuses. Delicacy shop honey. Probably wants to be better than that. Take the street parlor. An open building slot. We're far enough away militarily, we could probably swap some of the food over to infrastructure to get the buildings going faster. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Judea. Could go with more loyalty here. Theater is not really a source of loyalty, though. That's that. So this is, if you know the Stoa we had in the last one is Sparta, this is the Judean version of that. Apparently it doesn't disappear if you integrate the territory. think the brickwork's here. Let's try to put some people onto culture to stem the roll risk, like so. Oh, and you even got straight up raided. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with something with that. We'll probably deal with them after doing Egypt. Okay. Idols. Let's make you the provincial capital. We got depressions and dune storms, so we definitely need to work with the infrastructure buildings here. Okay, no other idols. Troops have already got assigned orders, and I don't think we're going to find any of those. Let's second the turn. Looks like in the next part we'll see if Egypt agrees to our terms. So 35 versus a garrison of 7's a no-brainer. We're just going to skip watching that. And again, 29 versus 6 guys is not going to be a problem. Actually surprised. I guess we maybe didn't succeed on the storm there. Must have been a stalemate. Okay, we'll just have to order it again. It's fine. Persia gains no less than 8 war score over Egypt this turn due to a large shift in momentum in the former's favor. Okay, we got a build harbor order that we can go ahead and do. It's build up that one. Okay, so let's get the fleet here together. Okay, it's going to take 2 turns one way or the other. Get them all together. We'll put them together in that port. And then we are pending on diplomacy with the Egyptians. So we should know the response next turn. And I think they're likely to say yes. Like, our current guy is a bad diplomat, but he's not that bad. He's not bad enough to screw it up. We don't need the metal. Do the Sacred Saint. This is more culture. It's basically just an upgrade over the previous one. The worship place. A marble vein. So this will be just marble. Apparently we hadn't imported marble to this location yet. There's a couple buildings that doesn't. We just hadn't built them yet. So we'll take the marble vein. Could go for more loyalty. Although the street baller is not too bad, so we'll pick that up in the meantime. Yeah, we don't need the extra infrastructure, so we'll leave the guy on food that just spawned in. Go to the market to get access to tier 2 infrastructure, or tier 2 culture. Not culture, not infrastructure. Commerce. The other one. When we got raiders. Well, we got rebels. In that location. Okay. And you exit the fort. This is the place where we probably want the large farm, so we'll queue that up. We probably want to make sure that we're still, during the siege, food positive. Plenty of food there. You notice I didn't move a lot of infrastructure. Because of the siege, only the province that's under siege could actually help the build in the province under siege, so wasn't much to do there. Don't need that much on infrastructure. There's nothing to build. Here we go. If anything, I actually need more infrastructure there. Can't take everyone off of infrastructure anymore. 50 money bank. I like 50 money banks. We go for a little loyalty here. Gladiator School is not a bad source for that. And we can import the weapons, which is not going to be a problem. Okay. Nothing there. Regional road's doing what it's doing. 3 things to build there. Yeah, this wouldn't be a bad place to do warehouse, builder's guild, builder's hall as well. Training ground. That's excessive for the training ground build. That'll be fine. Export into the next building. We're basically converted at this point. So this wouldn't be a bad idea to do the building that imports coral instead of building the major temple. If it wasn't for the fact that we're definitely going to get more buildings here, I'd be pickier. We do need loyalty, apparently, so let's build the gambling ring. It's not my preferred loyalty building. All the tier 1 loyalty buildings, except for the tavern, are either not very good or have a serious drawback, like the gambling ring, where it has a decadence drawback. Import tin, we don't really need import tin. Pass on that. Let's grab the builder's hole. Yeah, the builder's hole is not a bad choice. We barely need to put anyone on infrastructure to get it done in a turn. Next, 2 build slots. Rebel line expansion. We'll grab the Gladiator School, import the weapons, get the 16 loyalty bonus. You could do with some more conversion. As tempting the ceramic works is, gold site I think will help the conversions more. Something like that. Get back to the provinces. I decided I don't want to change how I was moving the boats around, which I suppose isn't super important. Grab the street parlor. We'll get us access to Tier 3 culture. Grab the scriptorum. Statue Zeus done in 4. Clear water. Ooh, another clear water. Lots of build slots here. Could go with some loyalty. So the Noble District isn't a bad choice for that. Don't need loyalty as bad here. We'll pick up the Watchtower because it's a good military expertise building because it's 0 slot. Oh, plantation. As penalizing as this is for the loyalty of the location. 50 food, it's hard to pass up on. As this portion of Egypt starts to calm down, we can move more people off of food onto construction. Judea. Looking for more loyalty buildings here. That's not a loyalty building. Build the walls up, I suppose. Let's grab the... Oh, that was an expensive one because we don't have weapons. Okay, let's pass on that because there's no weapons. We'll do the city walls instead. Training ground. Grab the monument. Public Works. We got some new places, of course, that should get the Egyptians taken off of making commerce and culture. Lots to build there. It'll build faster once Egypt's properly stabilized. Okay, there's no idols. I'm going to go ahead and cycle one more turn here, I think, and then we'll go ahead and put it part break in. Because I'm going to cycle one more turn, we will find out what the Egyptians say to our peace treaty. And it does look like they've agreed, so the last orders on our troops are going to all be for naught, other than the exiting the fortress here. Here we go. Get rebellion put down. We've ended hostilities. Buy, sell, displace. We'll take the buy. Reduce the bounty. And then, yeah, from a legacy standpoint, we got 9,500. We're gaining legacy 148 times faster than Egypt, because we've basically taken all their wonders from them, and most of the territory that we're scoring off of. We didn't take as much legacy from them specifically, so we're definitely sitting in a situation where to win by the sudden death rules, we're going to have to score quite a lot of victory points. Sudden death rules, I believe, is 3 times the number 2. Right, so that'd be 1,800 plus, or no, 18,000 plus. So we've got about half of what we need. pull up a calculator for a moment to actually do that math, right? So this is going to be assuming Egypt has no income. They have some income, so it's going to be a little bit more than this. So 6,108 times 3, subtract off what we currently have, and then say divide by what we're making. It's going to take us basically 60 turns. So in 60 turns, plus a couple, probably, we'll probably be at the point where the sudden death rule would kick in, if it applies. So we might try to play a little bit faster here. Now that we think we're basically just guaranteed to win. It's just running at the clock. And we've got 17 turns to declare on these two. I don't think we're going to have too much of a problem in trying to do that, seeing as we're no longer at war with Egypt. These guys are back down to the port before sending them off to the next location. I think I also want to attack Edom, if we can. That would give us the rest of Sinai and the rest of Nabatean, if we declared on them. So I think with that, that's probably a good place to put the part break in for the first of the 4 parts for this recording session. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. Because if this one went up, the next one should have gone up from a recording standpoint. So there should be a part up tomorrow. I think in the next part, we're probably going to declare war on Athens, Sparta, and Edom. So once we get 2 armies up on the coastline here, we're going to sail them across to Asia Minor. Once they're there, we're going to declare war on these 2 to get our objective. The Persian Wars started. If we declare both, we're going to get an extra reward. We'll see how that goes. And then I'm not sure how much of them we're actually going to focus on when it comes to actually fighting them. We'll probably take over the islands. So, for example, we'll probably take over the Argos, or the Creta Rhodes area. And so as I could declare war on Creta for Creta, that wouldn't be too bad. Although you usually want half the place, so 3 of the 4 is fine. And then we'll probably start trying to pick a fight with Athens. We might not try to land Greece, even though we're going to declare war on both Sparta and Athens. Might try to bypass them and go over to the stuff over here. Our actual objectives are all over the bleeping place. We have Byzanton, because these spawn in, but they only hang around if you're adjacent to them. And most of the stuff that's been spawning in has been being not adjacent to us at this point. So Byzanton, Etruscae, okay. Passium. Where's the 4th one? Syracuse. Yeah, so we're probably not going to do any objectives, which probably means we're going to be perpetually a young empire, which is fine. We're going to be a young empire. We're going to win the game as a young empire. That's probably how it's going to be. So if you're watching on YouTube, part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I hope you've been enjoying. I'm going to take a short break to stretch the legs, sip a little bit of tea, and then we'll be right back to recording. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.